Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to welcome you to our Monday, February 24th regular meeting. The time is 6 p.m. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Kamal. Here. Davis.
Here.
Rogers is here. Laster.
Present.
Kennard.
Tardy.
McCarthy.
Excused.
And Piles.
Excused. Can we stand for the pledge? Acceptance of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the February 24th, 2025 meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Kamal.
Here.
Davis.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Rogers, yes. Motion passes.
All right, we are now at public comment. Seeing none, we'll move forward to the presentation. So it is my absolute honor to introduce Ms. Daniels and her talented young ladies from her mentoring group, Creative Minds. We are truly grateful to have them here tonight to share their incredible talents with us, and their presence is a testament to the power of mentorship and creative expression, as we are excited to witness their gifts. I did have the honor of seeing the girls at the MLK presentation, and they blew me away, so I reached out to Ms. Daniels to see if they could come to our board meeting, and she just jumped right on it and got everything set up for them to come showcase their talents here today. Thank you.
And good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be here tonight. My name is Ebony Daniels. I am the co-founder of Creative Minds Girls Mentoring. I want to do a special thanks to the board. Thank you, Ms. Portia, for reaching out to me, and a special thanks to Ms. Principal Calloway. So, this evening, we have the honor of introducing 5 lovely young ladies from Creative Minds, and they will be reading a poem from the late Dr. Maya Angelou entitled Still I Rise, and they are also members of WIC's Student Council. So first, starting with Azaria Redwine, she's president. We have Lexi Benoit, she's vice president. Brentley Brown, secretary. Brooklyn Nelson, she's our historian. And last but not least, we have Skylin Bradley. She's our winner recipient for Girls Mentoring Scholarship. Thank you.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trot me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells, pumping in my living room.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes. Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries.
Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I got gold mines, dig it in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise.
Does my beauty upset you? Does it come as a surprise? that I dance like I got diamonds in my heart, and you'll see in my stride. Out of the huts and history shame, I'll rise from a past rooted in pain. I'll rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I'll rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I'll rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and hope of the slave. I'll rise, I'll rise, I'll rise. This poem was a message about self-respect, confidence, strength, love, humility.
I want to thank the ladies. Ladies, come back up again. I think you deserve another round of applause. The confidence that it takes to get up here and perform. Oh, sorry. Dr. Edmondson we would like to see your lovely faces. The confidence that you guys have shown since I've seen you at the last presentation and now is just amazing. I don't think I had enough courage at your age to do what you just did. So I just want to commend you. Did the board have anything they want to say?
An awesome job. You ladies did an awesome job with your inflections and everything. Not afraid. Awesome job.
Anything else? Thank you so much for taking your time to come. I know you guys are headed to City Hall.
What? City Hall.
I think they were like, you got to come here too. So yes, make sure you represent, and it's just good to see our students shining. So thank you so much. Okay.
Well, I have a couple questions, Miss Daniels.
Sorry,
No,
Dr.
we
Edmondson
not.
has
No,
questions.
you can.
They can go sit down.
No, they can't. They can't sit down. So Miss Daniels, I heard you say that you had a historian, and I saw who the historian is. Correct? Yeah. Okay. So I'd like, as a historian, could you tell me something about your organization, or Miss Daniel? I mean, if you're the historian, that's part of your job is to talk about the history, or what's. Oh, okay. Well, then good. Then tell me about what's going on in student council. Tell me what's going on at WIC. How about that? I'm sure anybody. Don't get nervous. Tell me about WIC. If I'm going to come in and visit, what am I going to see? What do you think that I would see? And there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, it's just me asking you a question. So it's just like when you're writing a paper, you have to defend what you say. If you're going to write something and a teacher asks you to take a stand on something, you have to be able to defend it. So I'm asking you, when I come to visit, or any of us comes to visit, what are we going to see at WIC? Beside Miss Calloway, I know I'm going to see her. Well, fundraisers? So I'm going to see that when I walk in, I'm going to see a fundraiser? Maybe? Now, I want to know what I'm going to see. I don't want any maybes. What am I going to see? Is there good energy over there? Are kids happy? Are teachers happy? Is there going to be learning? I want to know from you, what would I see if I come by? Is it? Okay. Okay, just a few. Okay, I'll take just a few. I can handle that. Okay, who's your favorite teacher? Miss Redmond. Why? I know who Miss Redmond is, but why?
She taught my sisters, and she's just a really nice teacher.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. And what is your name? Lazaria. Thank you. Oh, the rest of you think you're going to get quiet? That doesn't work for me, just so we're clear. That's one, so then I will go down, and then we'll let you go. I'll get you to where is it? City Hall. I'll get you there on time. Beat them down and dodge ball anyway, so I'm just saying. Next. Now, why Miss Calloway? I didn't ask Miss Calloway. I did not ask Miss Calloway. I love Miss Calloway. I ain't asked Miss Calloway. I'm asking you to be able to think about what I asked you, the question, whatever it means to you. I gave you some ideas, but what do you see when you come into WIC? What do you see? What would I see? Okay, thank you. Well, thank you. See, I appreciate that. So let's just say I had a young son. I don't. My son just turned 18 yesterday. That's my youngest. So I come to WIC, and I'm interested in bringing my son, to WIC. Why should we come to WIC? You two are, now we're 1, 2, 3. I'm just 1, 2, 3 has to answer. Why should we come to WIC? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. These are the things that I want to hear. Okay, so I'd get to see that too. What about the lunches? Can anyone, it's down to 2. Tell me about the lunches. Are they any good? Don't listen to the adults back there. They probably don't even eat them. Okay. What about mathematics? You're the last one. Tell me about mathematics over there. What? Oh, I can't wait to see those scores. She got me excited, Miss Calloway, the scores in math. She said she's high performing, and she should be. I would expect if you're there. Hi, Miss Scott. Good to see you as well. So math. So if I go in there and I did my math challenge, I'm sure you don't. I haven't done it really this year, where I go in and I ask you multiplication questions. Could you answer it on the spot? You could. Okay, I'm not going to do that to you. I don't want you to be nervous, okay? But when I come, I'm telling you, I'm coming and I ask multiplication questions. I want to make sure that you know your multiplication. Because by the time you leave the 5th grade, you need to know them like you know your name. If you don't, then you're behind. Do you hear me? If you don't know your multiplication tables, by the time you leave 5th grade, you are behind. And you should know them in the 4th grade. In the 5th grade, we should be doing some decimals, some adding fractions, subtracting fractions, some of those things. So if you're a high performer, this means nothing to you because you already get it. But everybody else, you got to tighten up. All right. Very proud of you, ladies. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sacrificing your time and being here, because you didn't have to be here. So I thank you. Ms. Daniel, thank you so much for what you're doing. And I was at that Black History event as well. It was Black History, wasn't it? Black History. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. And this was a small audience here, right here, a smaller audience. So great job, and that lets me know that you can do it for anyone. Thank you so much, ladies. I believe the President Laster has something for you.
I do. I also just wanted to ask, do you ladies feel safe at school? Okay, because that's part of our job here, is to make sure that the school has what they need so that you ladies feel safe coming to school. That wasn't something we practiced. I just wanted to ask you because that's important. So we do have hats for you, and if you need anything from us, we're always here. So, oh, y'all can step up again. I have to get up? Okay.
Hey, come on. Dr. Edmondson sets the standard. That's my role. Thank you, ladies, again. You wear that hat with pride. Now, once you get it, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Ooh, this is a tough one. Miss Calloway, if they don't get it, we have some work to do. Can you tell me, look at your hat, what the US stands for? Yes. Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much. That's the best answer you could give us. Thank you so much for recognizing that. You ladies go on. I am thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled. In fact, we could probably end this board meeting if we wanted to, if you would allow me to go home. I guess
Well,
not.
we can't do
Okay.
that, but
thank you so much.
ladies.
Thank you so much for that answer, too. Keep up the good work, ladies. I'll see you soon. That was a perfect answer. Miss Rita, you like that? That was delicious in your words, right? You know. Oh, listen, I feel really good, too. That answer, that means we're doing something around here.
Next up, we have a presentation from Jarrell Farley from Wisdom Minds. He is affectionately known as Mr. Romulus. You will see him anywhere and everywhere with a bright smile, always willing to help. He is respected by his peers and staff. And Sorry, Jarrell. Oh, and we got to move that back over for you.
Not only respected, but he is also held to a high standard, which all students should be. But when you are president and you are a leader, you are held to a higher standard than everyone else. So I want you to hear that again, Jarrell. When you are a leader, you are held to the highest of standards. Some people fold because they can't handle it, but I know that you can. You are held to the highest standard for a reason, and I will always hold you to that standard. So thank you for always delivering.
And we are incredibly proud of you. So everyone, please give a round of applause for Jarrell Farley from Wisdom Minds. Thank you.
Wait, does this guy have a jacket on that says Wisdom? I mean, this dude here, he's too much for me.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Otter.
This guy. Where's mine? Yeah,
We got you.
Yeah, I know. I'll be waiting.
Well, good afternoon, board. Been a minute. I ain't been here in a while. I'm here to give you an update on Wisdom Eyes. So we haven't currently started Wisdom Eyes yet. We're planning on starting March 5th. I just talked to Mr. Tucker, I want to say like last Friday or Thursday. So my plan for this year is we did a men's mental health support group, and we got a good amount of, the number was pretty good, but I want to expand the number. And the men's mental health support group, it really touched me because you don't know what people go through when they go home. You know, when people hear mental health, they think they can just fight it or it's a toughness, but in reality, it's illness. And just like any other illness, you can't just fight it. Not saying that you have to go on medication, but having someone to talk to can help you cope with your mental health. As someone who suffers from mental health, I know it's not always the easiest to go talk to a counselor or a social worker because we fear that it might come back to our home. So, you know, it's always that fear. And you see mental health getting talked about more in society. I just watched like 4 TV shows, and back to back, they all had a mental health. Some was about mental health, you know. So I love to see that mental health is starting to get talked about more. But with Wisdom Minds, I want to break that stigma against mental health. Because, you know, as going to Romulus, everybody got their tough grind. Everybody just tough. So when they hear mental health, some people automatically, you know, laugh to not make themselves seem weak, but in reality, they're suffering. So Wisdom Minds, me and Mr. Tucker, we're planning on meeting every Wednesday since I am in early college. So like last year, we did 2 days out of the week, but now we're just on Wednesdays. So we meet every Wednesday. We're in room 301, which is the flag hallway right next door to the counselor's office. And I hope to let everybody know that mental health is not something to be afraid about at all. No matter what other people says about it, it's okay to deal with mental health. Like they say, physical health is important as mental health. So if you don't prioritize your mental health, you can't play basketball, you can't do football, swimming, because in reality, sports can take a toll on you. Homework can take a toll on you, and your personal life can take a toll on you. So letting my fellow peers know that we have resources for mental health is very important. And that's not just for the high school, for the elementary schools and the middle school. I believe they have a mental health room over there. I met the social worker last year on my internship, and she was a pretty cool, pretty nice lady. So, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I don't have a big update because, like I said, we haven't started yet, but we're planning on starting March 5th. And I just want to break that huge stigma against mental health, especially within the Black community. That's big within the Black community. And I actually, just reminded me, through Wisdom Eyes, I was awarded my first award by Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, where I act on their Mental Health Youth Council. We actually had a meeting today, but I had to come here instead. And I was awarded the Shining Star, which I'm so grateful for. D-Win has allowed me to look at mental health at a different perspective, as they are one of the biggest mental health organizations within Wayne County. So it's good to have Ron Bliss on my side and a mental health organization who I'm very, very glad to be a part of, and they have taught me so much. So yeah, I just want to break that stigma with mental health. I know I keep saying it, but it's so, mental health is everywhere. Hospitals, schools. You can't get away from mental health. That's just something you can never get away from. But you know, you always have the internet that makes people who has therapy, like you have, let's say you have somebody that doesn't come from a good neighborhood. You always taught, you know what, just thug it out or just tough it out. But in reality, the years come up, the years keep coming and coming, and they sadly face what I would call suicide. You know, they were just over it. And speaking of suicide, Miss Muhan, she works for the city of Romulus. Her son Brandon passed away a few years ago, and I have been working with her. She has donated a few posters and bracelets to Wisdom Minds, some waters and snacks, and she was thinking about putting a bench somewhere in the athletic hallway, you know, where the pool and the gym is at. So we've been working on that. But she also made me realize how suicide is a big thing. And if I'm being real here, I feel like mental health should be talked about a little more within the district. And that's not on anybody's part, but, you know, everybody knows me as the mental health guy. You know, we have announcements and other things, but the thing I don't hear about is mental health. And that's just something I don't, if it's not coming from me or like a counselor or anything, I barely hear about it. And I just want people to feel welcome and safe to talk about mental health. They don't have to come to Wisdom Minds. They can go to Mr. Tucker, one of the Ms. Strong, the counselor. But just know that mental health do not let mental health break you. We are here to help you, and there's so many resources out here. So that's what my initiative for Wisdom Mind is, to break that stigma, starting in Romulus and moving forward. Got any questions for me?
I just want to commend you for coming up to speak on such a sensitive topic that a lot of people just don't talk about. I know in the Black community, we don't go to counseling until it's bad. So to have you in the school, I know my son attends a school, like, you know what I'm saying? So just to have you in there as a beacon is important. And I think people in the room and people listening, somebody got something from what you said today, whether it's let me get back with my therapist, let me journal, let me do something, because it speaks to everybody. So I just want to commend you always. You're just I know you're not perfect, and I know you have things that go on, but to be carrying Romulus on your back with mental health is a huge thing, because we do look at you as Jarrell, Mr. Romulus, but I know you fight your own battles. So we are very proud of you, and I just wanted to say thank you again for always showing up. I don't have to check in on you. I know Jarrell is coming. I don't have to text you and say, where I know you coming. So thank you. Did anybody else have anything to say?
Thank you.
I do, of course. First of all, the jacket needs to say Mr. Romulus on there somewhere in quotation marks, just so that you know. But you know about Fridays, Romulus Almost Fridays. You know what that is. Yeah. I'm certain that you know what that is. That hasn't been good for our school district at all. Kids posting crazy stuff and whatnot. So if you're in a school and you're all about Wisdom Minds, how do you or your classmates and anybody that's inspired by what you do, how do you combat that? Mm-hmm. It's hard for me. You saw me on Friday. I think you saw me on it was Thursday. I mean, it took me 3 hours. Mr. Petty and I, it took us 3 hours just to try to figure out what was going on. But a lot of it is mental health and destroying kids' mental health by posting stuff that you know is going to be hurtful. How do you sit in a school knowing what you're trying to do? How do you combat that when that's going on in the school? Very school that you attend.
Well, I think that just comes with life, you know? Like, you can't even get away from the internet. You know, the internet is always there. The internet is always going to bash you. But you have to look to the positive things, because no matter what it goes, you can never run from people on the internet. People are going to always have something to say about you. No matter if you're doing the greatest thing in the world, people are always going to talk about you. So the message I would like to say to my fellow peers is, don't let anything on that page, don't let any of that page destroy you. Let it motivate you, I'll say, you know, because somebody's watching you, somebody looking at you. So it's like, even though that's a cruel thing for somebody in our district to talk about my fellow peers, it's like when we get into the real world, we're going to have to deal with people who are ruthless and doesn't care about anything. So it's like, that is a sad thing, but at the end of the day, we have to move forward, because it's going to keep on happening. It's going to keep on happening, because if you find this page, another page is going to get made. Then another page is going to get made. So it's like, it's sad that you can't do positive things without somebody going on the internet bashing you. But, you know, that always go back to mental health, because what if that person was talked about when they were a kid, or what if that person has a horrible life at home and they like to talk about others to make them feel better about themselves. So it's like that. I don't like that they're doing that, but it's like, once you find whoever run this page, somebody else is going to follow on behind them, and it's going to continue. And it's sad to say that, but I wish I wish a lot of people, and I want to say at the high school, were just a little bit mature. Thought about things a little bit more clear. Just like when the ninth graders first came, I was asked to speak to them, and I told them that what I feel like high school is where you start your 4 years of your career. Figure out what you want to do in life. So it's like, yes, you can have fun in high school, but getting in fights, getting in drama, it really does follow you. It really, because I remember my ninth grade year, I think I have like 3 write-ups, and if you yeah, but if you look now, you don't see nothing.
Yeah, Mr. Romulus. Yeah, that's what you're
You
trying
don't
to
see
say.
nothing. You don't see nothing. And I learned that I can't remember her name, but she said that the people that you're sitting down with, and I heard this before, are not going to be the people that you're going to come up with, and it's true. The people in ninth grade, I don't socialize with them as much because I just learned to outgrow them as a person. So it's like, in my generation, we face a lot of backlash, and I feel like the internet is a big thing, but it's nothing that we could really do about it but stay positive. And just for a minute, I just want to talk about bullying. Bullying is a huge thing, and that's going nationwide. Bullying is one of the things that I don't really like, and it's you always need somebody to speak up. Somebody is afraid to speak up for themselves, and I'm the person that will speak up for you, and that's just that. If I feel like you're in the wrong, I'm going to speak up to you, no matter who you are or what's your popularity. If you're bullying somebody, that's not right, because we all come in different shapes and forms. So who am I, or who are this person to judge that person for being themselves? So it's like, I have a big mindset on things like that, and that's what always draws me back to mental health, because just one thing can ruin somebody's day. We have no, you can be having the most wonderful day, then you see one post on the internet, and it just ruins everything. So it's like, I don't really know how to answer that question, because the internet is just horrible. It's just horrible, and that page is going to get made again and again. So it's never going to go away. But just know that everybody in school is great, no matter what you want to pursue in life. Just pursue it, and don't let negativity stop you from chasing your dreams. It's sad to say, in my generation, we got here 15, 14, 13, 16. So I don't stop that from me living my life, because the truth is, I don't know when I'm going to die. And I don't want to talk like that, but it's the truth. Nobody knows when they're going to die, because I got to watch out if this 15-year-old got a gun on him. And it's like, I can't even go to the movies without somebody fighting or pulling a gun. So it's like, I just live life. I never really cared when I thought about me, because I know when I'm going to die. So why should I let this person stop me from living my life? So that's just the mindset I have. And it's sad to say, but in my generation, things are 10 times crazier. People are dying, my age left and right, and I just want to live my life before I can't live it. So that's just my opportunity. So I know it was a longer than what you expected.
You're Mr. Romulus, man. You're Mr. Romulus.
We can just pass the collection plate now.
What I want you to say, and then I'm done. But what I want you to say is, when that stuff goes on, I'm not asking you to be the police. That's not your job. But you should say that there are adults in the school. Find one adult that you feel comfortable with that you can share that, because I wouldn't want somebody to commit suicide or hurt themselves or anything. Seek an adult in the school that you're comfortable with. Usually, there's one teacher that somebody has that they love, usually. Find that person and talk to them about what you're going through, and maybe they can help you get the resources that you need. Okay, that's all I would want you to hear, want you to say. That's it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Anybody else?
That's why it's
All
Mr. Romulus.
Well, thank you, Mr. Romulus. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Board of Education. It was nice seeing everybody.
You as well. All right, our final presentation comes from,
Oh, yes, Mr. Romulus.
oh, I'm sorry.
It's Mr. Romulus. That's why it's Mr. Romulus, and you're not.
Okay. Our final presentation comes from Mrs. Janelle Edwards. She is the interim director of the TLP team, and she is here to give us an update of what's going on under her great leadership.
I'm going to clap for Ms. Janelle, too. Thank you, Ms. Janelle.
All right. Okay, good evening. I would like to share our department update and my vision for our future. As you all know, I have transitioned into the role of Interim Director of Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development. Our team now consists of 5 instead of 6. This transition marks an important step forward in continuing the vital work of ensuring that our educators are equipped with the tools, knowledge, and support they need to drive student success. Before going into my vision, I would like to share a little bit about me. I am a wife and mother. I've been in education for 25 years. I've taught all levels, elementary through college. I have an education specialist in leadership from the University of Michigan, a Master's of Science and Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics education from Wayne State University, and professional certificates in administration with a central office endorsement, a K-8 teaching certificate with a 6-8 mathematics endorsement, and I am certified in coaching one-on-one. My journey began in Romulus as a student teacher at Hale Creek Elementary. After finishing my student teaching, I was a substitute teacher and then hired in for the upcoming school year. I remained there at Hale Creek for a year before transferring to be part of the opening year at Romulus Elementary. It was there that I stepped into my first leadership role as the mathematics building lead for mathematics instruction K through 5. After 5 years, I transferred to Romulus Middle School in the role of a math teacher, and after being there for 5 years, I gained the role as mathematics department head, responsible for mathematics curriculum in grades 6 through 8. During my years at the middle school, I was a cheer coach, which also included competitive cheer, and in my later years, a track coach. In both of those roles, we were heavily involved in the community with our fundraising efforts, from car washes to bottle drops. I've held administrative roles as an assistant principal and most recently the supervisor of professional development. My long-term commitment to Romulus gives me the drive and passion to ensure that our teachers and students thrive, which leads me to my vision. As I step into this role, my vision is clear: to inspire, grow, and collaborate. Inspire a culture of excellence, innovation, and equity. Grow, fostering meaningful learning experiences for all students and educators. And establish a culture of collaboration and strengthen our professional learning communities. Executing the vision will be done by empowering our educators, offering PD that meets the needs of our teachers. Just last week, we had our district-wide professional development, and our elementary teachers were offered the opportunity to choose which PD sessions that they wanted to attend, and those sessions were facilitated by their colleagues. So their colleagues prepared sessions, and then information was sent out ahead of time of the session descriptions, and they were able to choose which sessions that were going to best fit their needs. So we want to be able to expand on that for our secondary as well as we go into next year. We want to strengthen strengthen instructional coaching and mentorship. Strengthen our coaching on all levels. We have our COSAs at the elementary levels, and we have our instructional specialists at the secondary level. So strengthening that coaching, and then our mentorship program. This year, I put together a mentorship program just to remain consistent throughout our district on what the mentor expectations are and the mentee expectations, so that everybody is on the same page for that program. And we want to, of course, build on that program, because that was just the start. And then strengthen professional learning communities through shared leadership and dialogue. Our professional learning communities is a great platform for our teachers to share instructional strategies, go over their data, look at the standards that they're teaching, and be able to have that dialogue with what's working for you, what's working for me, and share that. So we want to be able to build that community of sharing where they're comfortable sharing with each other. Elevating student learning, supporting innovative teaching practices, and fostering critical thinking and academic growth. And set higher expectations to challenge our students and unlock their full potential. That is huge, making sure that we are challenging our students to get them to where they need to be. Promoting equity, addressing barriers to achievement, and ensuring that all students have access to high-quality instruction. In the first 30 days, the team and we made an assessment. We reviewed our current programs and initiatives throughout the district to see what programs are working, what programs are not working by looking at the data. Additionally, the systems that are in place and those that are needed. We are in need of some systems in certain areas, and we took a look at some systems that we need to put together. We engaged in speaking to different educators and getting an understanding of what their needs are so that we will know how to provide the most impactful support to them. And then we did some prioritizing. So we brainstormed, made lists of all the different areas of focus within the district, and then we made a priority list for those immediate areas of focus. And currently, those immediate areas that we just narrowed this down to was our Young Five program, which we are putting details together now that we will bring before you soon. The Kindergarten Festival, as well as our summer school program. My why is always going to be student success. As you all know, with me being here for a long time, my heart is here. So I put kids first. And I want to see them succeed just like all our children succeed in other school districts. I want to see our kids here succeed. Meaningful learning, student growth, and have lasting impacts. At the core of my leadership is a simple yet profound belief. Our students deserve the best. Every decision we make, every professional development opportunity we create, and every instructional strategy we refine is driven by the goal of ensuring every student has the knowledge, skills, and confidence to succeed. Our mission remains the same. We are dedicated to collaborate with and strengthen the instructional community within RCS as we strive to become a destination district. As we move forward, I remain committed to fostering a culture of excellence that supports our educators, engages our students, and strengthens our community, because outcomes matter. Our focus remains steadfast, improving student outcomes. By empowering educators and fostering innovation, we will drive positive change, ultimately leading to student success. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Edwards, for your presentation.
Thank you for your time.
Madam President. Madam,
All I said was first, thank you. I mean, that's all I said is thank you for your time. And you dashed off. Any questions?
it's like, dare you?
No, I just said, first of all, I want to thank you. That's what I started with.
Oh, okay.
And I let the board determine what they questions.
All righty.
I can ask my questions tomorrow.
Okay.
Trustee
Thank
Kennard.
you, Madam President. Thank you for the presentation.
Absolutely.
For you to have your own vision and incorporating with continuation every time there's leader and changes and there's different ideas and so forth and so on. And so we welcome that. And I know Dr. Edmondson is probably going to ask you some questions, whatever. But I had the opportunity, that's where I was coming from a few minutes ago, and speaking with the University of Michigan in terms of sciences and engineering and so forth. And I wasn't for sure if our district participated in, I don't know if you're aware of DATSEP
I am,
programs.
yes.
And then also the competing against the state of Michigan with sciences, the science projects and so forth at the high school level. And I don't know if our district is participating. I know years ago we did, but I don't know where we are with that. So those things I would like to see, you know. And I'm just speaking off the cuff right now because it is something I think that's very important. And we're looking into identifying the types of programs and how we're educating our students, making sure they're competitive and saying that they have a track. You know, I know we're with Wayne County, you know, with that, but, you know, to extend it where we are executing that this thing, you know, and whatever. I don't know if that's in connection with it or not, but I think there will be some beneficial things for our district. And so you can just food for thought, you know, Dr. Edmondson. I know I'm talking off the cuff and president, but I thought that that was something that our district could benefit from.
Agreed.
You know, and that falls under curriculum, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you could, you know, do some research on it and, you know, have a conversation with us on it.
Conversations have started with
Okay.
robotics because that's a competitive. I know Van Buren has a competitive
Yeah,
team.
get
for
our students
robotics.
out there.
Absolutely.
Get them out there.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Trustee Kennard. Hearing nothing else, thank you, Mrs. Edwards, for your presentation.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, for me, I would just want to say quickly,
All right.
I can say this tomorrow, but I wanted to say this to the board because Trustee Kennard kind of alluded to it. You know, you stepped in the gap, and I appreciate that. You know, sometimes you don't expect somebody to leave, and they do, and that's part of the job, part of the business. But getting somebody to step up can be very difficult because you have to figure out who they are and those things. I'm just glad I didn't know all that stuff, and I sit here humbly saying I didn't know what schooling you went to and those things. And when you and I were talking, I said it was important for you to share with everybody who you are because as a leader, if I were to ask this board, no disrespect, what schools that I go to, there's probably only one or two that might know or any accolades. I don't talk about that stuff. I don't, and they don't. They probably wouldn't know it anyway, and I don't hold you to knowing that. But it's just good to know that you've been here this amount of time and that you have been through the good times in this district and you've seen the worst times. Those were the worst. We're not going back there, but you've seen the worst too. So it's good to have you on board. When we were sitting in that room today, you were the only one there that has the experience that we don't have. Everybody else has been to other districts, not you. So you're holding it down for us, and we count on you to be able to tell us, yeah, we did that, or no, that didn't work, or anything else that you might bring. So I just want to thank you, and I encourage you, and I will continue to support you while you're on this journey with us. So thank you so much, and to your team as well.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I can't say that in
Sure,
front
you
of
say that
everybody on
again
Tuesday.
tomorrow.
Can't say it on Tuesday in front of everybody.
Now we're at the consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the February 24th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion of the agenda. A is approval of the minutes of the Board of Education for February 17th, 2025 special board meeting, as well as the closed session. B, approval of the personnel actions as submitted by Human Resources Director Kevin Brock. Employment of Martinique Parker, custodian at RHS. Brittany Duffus, third grade teacher at Romulus Elementary. Samantha Theed, special education paraprofessional at Barth. Lauren Winkles, special education teacher at RHS. And Gurupek Chala, speech pathologist at Wick and Barth Elementary.
Support.
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Kennard.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We are now at the report of the superintendent. Dr. Edmondson.
Thank you. Be as brief as I can. It just feels like we were here last week because we were. So my energy level is not the same, period. But I just wanted to thank everybody for, you were at the dodgeball event. All of us at this table were at the dodgeball event. And I thank you for allowing me the creativity to try different things for students. at this point, we have raised over $8,000 for that event. I'm like, that event? That event. That includes hats and attendance or entrance fees. We have to make some, have to pay some things back, but just overall, it was a great event, not only for our school district, not only for the camaraderie that I saw that extended over to the basketball team the next day, but also for our staff, getting to know other people. You know, I was laughing with somebody today. I said, man, I didn't even remember you being on my team. It's because balls were coming too fast. I mean, they're just coming too fast at my age. I'm like, they were just coming fast. But I had a great time. It was great to see students engaged and our staff. We have some of the staff back here that participated. Maria Scott actually was a great MC with her personality, big personality. But it took a whole lot for us to get that event to work. And what I like, and I'm not going to say that anybody is rooting against me. I won't say that. But sometimes people don't think that your event is going to work. And then I believe in the things that I do. I work hard for this district. I work hard for the kids. And that event was just one of the things that is a demonstration of such, not just me, but to collaborate with an entire community. You had the mayor and the fire chief and all of the groups that you saw from the city. So that was outstanding. And I just got an email from the mayor who said that Huron Police Department now wants to participate next year. So I'm like, bring it on. We're going to bring everybody. But remember, it was a fundraiser. So I'm very excited that we were able to bring that kind of money to our students. Also, just last week, we put out a My Michigan Student Voice survey that went out to parents. And sadly, or conversely, 34 parents. And that tells me that I had to do something again. I have to do something again to get that out there, but we can't have 34. That's embarrassing. We already know that. So I'm going to have to put something else out there that's part of the partnership agreement that we have to have our staff and our parents take this survey. And it also goes toward the culture and climate of our district. So I'm going to have to put something out probably tomorrow, just getting our parents to participate. So 34, again, is not good. So I'm going to put something else out, just so that you know, and I encourage you to take it as well. A couple more things. Overall, I think we've been lacking as a district for any Black history events. I haven't really seen any. Maybe it has to come from me. Sometimes I feel like I take on a whole lot, but it needs to come from others because, you know, if you turn around, guess what? You're not going to be there. If you don't celebrate it, you can't expect anybody else to celebrate it either. So we might want to, you know, try to make that more of a priority in our district since the majority of our students are of color, and even if they weren't, that's an important piece of the history of the United States. Without Black people, you have no United States. I won't get on a soapbox on that. Moving on. Our self-defense class, I want to thank the great Jason Perkins. Jason Perkins in it. And, yeah, I mean, that was, hey, man, wait till you get 55, I'm telling you. Okay, 56 in March. But his team has done an excellent job. I had a vision for a self-defense class for girls, and we have 20 girls that are interested. We're going to probably start the first week of March, and they have done a good job. They have cleaned a dusty room up. It was a room that we didn't do anything with. It's gorgeous in there. Repainted. We're about to put the punching bags in. They're coming in the next two days or so. It's just a great event, another event that we're doing, another opportunity for our kids. I will be glad to walk any of you that want to come and visit and see what it looks like. Or Jason, the great Jason Perkins and his staff. He's got an excellent team that's very collaborative, and they work together. But they could walk you through that, and you can see the self-defense class that will be starting in March. It was planned to start the week of March 3rd, but the instructor is in the reserves, and he said he's going to be out that week. But just check out the room, and with that, you will also see. I mean, I never knew these rooms existed. I never knew. I went up there. I was embarrassed for the cheerleaders to see what they were, where they were cheerleading, practice, and yeah, it was terrible. And the wrestling too. So you know, with the leadership of my team. We just walked through there, and we were like, this is, we just couldn't believe it, any of us. So those will be changing. They've already started on the wrestling room. We're changing that, getting new mats, just redoing everything. Because just like anything else I say, you know, being poor is a mentality. And if you've been poor, it's hard to get out of that mentality because you've been poor all your life. And when you're no longer poor, it's a mentality. So fixing things up, we don't have to have things that look bad and say it's okay. It is not okay. Our kids deserve better, our staff deserves better, our community deserves better than to see things that are dilapidated and just let them stay that way. That's my responsibility, and you'll be seeing those things change too. Ashley Capital, we had the presentation. You will get the, it's no longer a draft, you'll get the, well, I think we have a motion sheet, but we're not going to do it today because I want you to look at it. Make sure you're comfortable. Please know that we had our other law firm look that over and made all of the corrections, and you heard them say they agreed to all of our additions. So that's the case. Just want you to look over it. As I said before, I don't want you to feel like it's high-pressure sales because it's not. But, you know, it's going to help. They showed us. They went through the presentation. So the next board meeting is the plan to actually do that, even though it's in your packet now. I just want you to get familiar with it, and then we'll move on in March, correct? That's what we were going to do? Okay, it's not in there. Okay, all right. At one point, we were going to put that in there. So you're going to get that from Eve and take a look at it, and then so that you feel comfortable when we bring it up to the table. And the last thing that I have is that I had an opportunity. I don't know what it was called. I might have told you before, but the STEAM students had, it was like an inventors, I think it was like an inventors, I don't know what you would call it, expo. Let's call it an inventors expo. Wonderful to see the students engaged, the 6th and 7th graders engaged in being able to ask them questions. And I encourage you, whenever you visit a classroom, do not go for yes and no. That is not good, a yes and no answer. You have to get them to think about it and justify why they're doing it, and to challenge them to think critically, because our society, we need critical thinkers here, not people that are just going to go along because it's the safe thing to do. Okay, so when you get a chance, we have a lot of programs. We have a lot of our principals doing a lot of great things in their schools. I can promise you that I am trying to work on, we should have had this done a long time ago, but we need a calendar so that you can get to all the events. It's just hard when you don't know what events are out there. I'm working with Eve. We'll work on it, and we'll get that to you, I would say, by sometime in March. We'll get that to you just so that you can follow. If you want to go to other schools, knock yourself out. But we'll get that because I know right now it's an arduous task trying to know what's out there. So I'll take responsibility for that. And lastly, this is every year I go away to South Carolina with my dear friends and fraternity brothers from University of Virginia. We all went to UVA, and I will be leaving Wednesday morning, flying out Wednesday morning. I'll be back Sunday to come back. I just told our team today that I feel very comfortable with this. We were laughing about it, but I'm not going to tell you the joke now. But I asked Mr. Brock that when I'm gone, if there's anything major, that he takes over in my stead. But I do want to tell the board, that doesn't mean when I come back that you place him in my job and put me out on leave and say, you sit out. So we want to make sure that that's not what I meant. I'm just saying that he can fill in for a little bit when I'm gone. I appreciate that. And don't get too comfortable, and don't send board members emails asking them, can you meet with them, and text. We're good, okay, just so we're clear. Schindler, attorney, okay, we're good. Thank you so much. I appreciate, and I really do, I appreciate the honor that you have given me. I appreciate the honor that you have still given me to run this district, so thank you so much.
On that note, the great Jason Perkins has an action item. Can someone read that for me?
Madam President and Board, we have a bid authorization for the Romulus High School room renovation. The recommended motion is move that the Board of Education authorize the administration to seek bids for the culinary arts room and a county room renovation project at Romulus High School. The rationale, the culinary arts room at Romulus High School is aging. The room needs renovation to ensure a safe and conducive learning environment for students and staff. Seeking bids for this project will allow the district to secure competitive pricing while ensuring compliances and regulatory and safety standards. This will allow the district to assess potential costs and proceed with improvements that will benefit students, staff, and community. Our budget implications is the CTE culinary account number 11452 6420-013-532-3449.
Support.
It's been motioned by Kennard, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Kennard.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
Rogers, yes, motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We are now at the report of the board. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jason.
I appreciate the
Appreciate
support.
it. I gotta work on my
These will be
manners.
some great projects for this summer. I'm really looking forward to them, so thank you for the board's support. I'll be coming back with recommendations for both the middle school ceiling and lighting and the CTE improvements in the near future for recommendations about moving forward, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now at the report of board subcommittees. We do have an action item underneath there from the policy committee.
Madam President, move that the Board of Education waive the first reading and approve the updated Board of Education policies as provided by Miller Johnson. Rationale, the Board of Education is committed to maintaining policies that align with current legal requirements, educational best practices, and the evolving needs of our students, staff, and community. The approval of an updated policy manual is essential for the functioning of the district. By approving the updated policy manual, the board demonstrates its commitment to effective governance, student success, and a well-functioning school district. This approval is a necessary step in ensuring that our policies remain relevant, legally sound, and align with the district's mission and goals. Budget implications are none, and exhibits, you have a copy of the policy at your side of the table.
Support.
It's been motioned by Davis, supported by Rogers. Any discussion?
I know I'm gonna probably make some people upset with me, but there is one thing on this that we're voting to change that I can't, in good conscience, vote to approve, and it's changing the policy regarding the ability of teacher, board member, anyone acting as an agent of the school system to assist or refer a student in going to get an abortion. Now, I know that this is a very contentious issue, and that's why I think the current policy
Which policy is
should,
that?
So do you know what policy number that is?
policy?
it was removed,
It was removed?
yes.
You have the, anyone from the policy committee? You know what policy number she's speaking on?
Not off the
Not
top of
offhand.
my head. I know I've come across it.
4005,
4005?
other matters of employment.
4005?
It's been removed.
Do you have
From
the,
the
we have
packet.
do we have the older version of 4005? Yeah, so we pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have the old
Bring the
copy.
old copy with me. Right, we want to know what the old 4005 was.
That should be. Yeah, that is gonna be in that one.
It's going to be in this one? Okay.
Right now.
Professional opportunity.
It's not in the 4005.
That's not 4005.
It was in the emails that were sent.
It was in the email?
Yeah, it was in the email. And
Which email, huh?
that was, no, it was,
That Darcel sent
That
out from the
Dardel's?
policy.
yes, it was by Miller Johnson recommended it, that it be removed even though it's optional now. And I just think, this is a very contentious issue. I think that there should be
Need to read
more
that one.
discussion
So which was
on
it?
it.
I don't see, I'm looking even at the content, I don't see what she's speaking of. So,
It's under personnel,
personnel?
other matters of employment.
Yeah, it's under 4005.
Where?
Where?
Let's see. Oh, I can't even see it because Word document. Should be under prohibition of referral or assistance.
Here it is, right here. Okay.
All district.
So,
Provide instruction in sex education.
prohibition of referral and assistance. You want us to read it?
Yeah.
Are you here? See?
Please, Attorney Schindler.
Okay. Yeah, so do we want to
Hello,
read?
Attorney Schindler. Welcome.
See, this is why I shouldn't come to board meetings too early. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Did you introduce yourself? She may not.
Oh, sorry. My name is Bob Schindler. I'm one of the attorneys at Miller Johnson. We supply the district's policies. I gotta maybe get my reading glasses out.
Not sure if you need that or not, but this is what they wrote.
Yeah. So what I can say is, as far as the policy goes, previously the policy was part of the policy package in large part, well, not in large part, because of the fact that Michigan law prohibited referral and had that as an affirmative requirement. That law was removed about a year and a half ago. And so, given that the law was removed, as part of our policy service, our general position is that we want to comply with the law. Now, obviously, boards can do other things in terms of sort of extra action. Our removal of that was because the specific prohibition under state law was removed.
So it's optional to take it off. We don't have to.
So, I believe that is correct. But I will just say that I'm speaking off the cuff here tonight in terms of that I wasn't the one who worked on this section of the policy. I believe it would be optional that the district could continue to keep it, but I would like to double check on that to make sure.
So for me, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't the board removing this. This is a policy that's being considered to be removed all across. It's just not a Romulus removal.
Right.
It's a state.
It's
It's a new
this
policy.
is as part of our policies. We have generally removed it as Trustee Kamal said. This is obviously a very contentious issue statewide. It was a very contentious issue when the law was put into place, and so now that the law has been removed, we remove the policy because the policy says specifically that school officials must provide instruction. I'm sorry, wait.
You want us to read it,
Instruction in
Secretary?
sex
Yeah, but it talks about in compliance with state law, MCL 380, 1507. 1507 has been modified and that referral prohibition removed. And so that was the basis for the modification. I don't know if.
So is it being replaced somewhere else?
No, it was not. It was not, because again, the state law was removed, and so the affirmative requirement to include that prohibition was removed. Yeah, I was just trying to find if we have the update memo.
Oh, I don't have the memo, but this is the updated baseline
Okay.
policy.
All right. If we want to table this, I can always take a look as well at, I can probably pull up right now the update memo that gets into the, sort of the the recommendations on that one and whether or not it's something that can be included still or not. Is this the update memo itself? Okay.
That's why I put in the landscape.
And while Attorney Schindler is looking it up, can you, Darcel, as the chair, share kind of just the process of Miller Johnson, of course, sent a baseline, sent the updates, and this was not anything that a policy subcommittee came and said, this is a ruling or this is what we want. This is legal, that we went ahead and aligned with what the law firm was advising us to do.
And I think it's important to note that, I think it's important to note that this work can be done in committee. So if there's something important that the board wants to address, for example, artificial intelligence or this policy as well, once this aligns with what our legal recommendation is. If we want to change it, if the board so chooses to change it, we can do that through policy.
Right.
That's only if the child is.
So if I can just, because it has been a lot of work to get to this point and we are out of compliance, we are legally, I mean, if you look at our website, it's pretty embarrassing. And as Mr. Brock said, and not pushing anybody to do what you vote how you want to vote, but we do need a standard that is legally acceptable. And then from there, we work with the subcommittee to modify or put tweaks but we want to make sure that our policy is in good standing and is legal and up to date, because right now we are behind, far behind. And the policy subcommittee has put in a lot of work for this, and they are very open to, if you do need anything, to reach out to them if you, and I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, because honestly, this is not something that was on my radar, so.
Well, Vice President Davis, did you not read the changes that they sent to you?
Yeah, I did. So basically, what we did, and I've been on the policy committee like almost since I started, and I've been working with Mr. Brock and Secretary Wester and Trustee McCarthy when she was on policy committee. And so basically what we've been doing ever since we've been on policy committee is just trying to add in all the recommended updates from Miller Johnson themselves, just so that we are somewhat in compliance with the law and up to date, as a lot of these policies, as approved, last time it was approved, is not in compliance with the law right now. So all we've done is just taken what is suggested from Miller Johnson Policy Service and apply it to our own policy. So we haven't had any discussion on specific policies, whether or not to keep it or remove it. We're just right now trying to get a clean baseline so that we can start doing that work of like picking out and detailing specific policies we would like to see and what we would like to change. That's all we're doing right now.
Why were we not looking at it before it came to the board for approval?
Actually, we were. What we did was, we were technically almost starting all over again because we were so behind in our policies. We took all the updates from Miller Johnson, everything, baseline, kind of went through what we had to make sure that they were lining up. There are certain things that have come to us about AI, dress codes. We weren't working on those issues yet until we got our baseline to go for, and then we could still go back and look, and you can bring it back and say, this portion here was taken out, but we think it needs to be in, but we want to word it like this. We can still do that. It doesn't say we can't put it in, but at this point, we have been running without a current policy for a couple years now. And we're just trying to get back into compliance with everything that's going on. So we did. We went through, we negotiated, we looked at everything, and some, like you said, there was an overlook. When we're sitting here working 4 or 5 hours, kind of go through it all, could have been a couple others that we missed, or we want to tweak that we can always still come back to the table and do.
Did we not push it to the next meeting?
We have no guidelines to go by. And we're trying to get a baseline policy going now so that we can discuss, we want to put this one back in, we want this one to go in, and we bring it back for another read, and we add those in. We have nothing right now to go by. And it's not just Romulus. I just went through this with mine, with my policies as well. Same thing, this is going on, not here, in every district, to where people are trying to figure out, and because it's prohibited, we want it there, it is contentious. So yes, I do this every day, just like Brock. So it's not saying that if we prove and vote for this, that it cannot be changed. But as President said, you vote how you want to vote. But we're just saying we have to have something to move forward.
You said we've gone years without something. What's
We
one
are
more
in non-compliance, which has really put us in a bad bind in terms of negotiating and doing a lot of things when it comes down to the table. If you have an employee that's coming in for a disciplinary hearing, we can't even go to it because we have nothing to fall back on.
And the thing is, it would be a starting point to get us up to date, and then those important things, and not just that you brought up. There could be other things, but we have to start somewhere. And if we keep delaying and putting it down the track, it'll be something next week. Because it's all important, but the main thing is to get updated in compliance policy. And people know, we keep saying this at every meeting. We're broadcasting on YouTube. People know, like, Romulus has an out-of-date policy. And there's been people that have been community members that have helped get us to this point. Brock put in time to get us to this point, and right now we're just sitting ducks for discrimination, Title IX, all types of things like that could get us into more legality. And that's just where it is. But as we said, it's how you want to vote. But this is just what we're bringing forth today. And if there's no more discussion.
But we do appreciate
you bringing it
this
forth
to light.
because we wouldn't have known. Well, I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
But,
Yeah,
yes.
Madam President, I just wanted to point out to board members, if you look at page 34, under section 5009, and Mr. Brock was doing this work today and over the weekend to fill in all of these blanks from baseline and recommended policy so that it's specific to our district. If you notice in 5009, there's two paragraphs. The top paragraph is the baseline language with places to insert the percentages. And on the bottom, we've set the percentage for 100% because that's what the district is currently doing right now. And also added underlined sinking fund because we have that and that's not covered under this baseline policy.
Thank you, Vice President. Any other discussion?
Madam President. Yes. So I just want to say to the committee, I know you guys have invested a lot of time and effort into this, as has been discussed. And I just want to say to Trustee Kamel is that this is not uncommon that we have this brought to us, and then there's some things that we even tweak the very next day because it's just like technology; it changes, quickly and fast. And so, what I'm suggesting, and I hope that you understand and know that we very much appreciate you bringing this to our attention. But there's probably some other things in here, and so the policy committee is what they're going to do is continuously to review. And I'm hoping that they're going to take this and do their due diligence and then bring it back, probably at the next meeting or so forth or so on. But we're not saying that, this is, the rule of thumb. It's just a foundation right now for us to follow. Okay. And we do understand what you did bring to our attention. Yeah, Brock.
So again, just for clarity, this is for everybody. This is a baseline policy that gets us to where we need to be legally compliant. We have several other policies that have been worked on that are not a part of this. So we have an artificial intelligence. We have a retention policy that hasn't been adopted yet. As a committee, the committee decided to put those on hold and not include them into this policy or this baseline because those are things that some of these committee members are new or that the board needs to be made aware of prior to them being put into policy or into action. So this is just a strictly baseline policy, and then moving forward, those things like artificial intelligence will be discussed at policy committee. Retention policy will be discussed. Any of the new policies that come out, typically you have an option. Our policy company, Miller Johnson, sometimes will give you options as recommendations. And the policy committee's work is to do things like, there is a baseline policy in there on artificial intelligence. I think the policy that was recommended or sent to the policy committee is probably a little bit more in depth than what that says, but it gets us started in the work, and we have an up-to-date policy.
So you just add that to your list.
Correct. Correct.
That she brought forward.
Yep, you just keep working on it. It's never ending. The policy doesn't start and stop. It's an ongoing, evolving. The laws change. You get a new president. We get new Title IX requirements. So it's ever changing. That's why we have an ongoing policy committee.
Thank you.
So let me add this to everybody. My job is to follow the law, period. And I tell students this when I come in. I have my own attitude toward a lot of things, religiously and everything else. When I come into the school district, I can't. I have to follow the law, no matter how strongly I feel about something. I'm not saying this to you. I've said this to everybody. You may not like something, but the law. And a good example is ICE. Everybody's talking about if ICE comes in, what I'm not going to do. Oh, okay. I'm going to do what the law tells me to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't like that, or you may not like that. But the law, I have to follow the law. I can't do whatever I think might be in my better conscience, or I feel some kind of way because I grew up this way and I can't do that if I want to keep my job. I can't. Folks are being arrested, a whole bunch of stuff. And I heard it today in the superintendent's meeting. It was stated that the law says this is what you have to do. I'm sorry. This is what you have to do. I don't have PTSD. I was clowning with the stuff totally. But I do have PTSD on being sued over and over and over and over here for various reasons. I'm not going to say that, but I depend on the policies to be able to stand by them so that when things hit the proverbial fan, I have something to work on. So that's what we have that here. And then you can tweak some things. Like there are some things that we're going to tweak, but I need to know that we have a policy. And once the policy's there, if you want to add some things or take some things out, but always be careful. Okay, I say this to my own sister. You're not the law. That's what I tell her. You're not the law. Okay, I know what you think, but we have an attorney. We have a firm. We have a firm that gives us this information, and I have to trust that the firm is going to protect us with the right information. That's to all the board. That's not to just one person, but it's also that we are a board, and you're more than welcome, anybody, to sit on a committee. I mean, you might not be named to the committee, but if you want to be a part of the committee work, please do. Anybody, that's Trustee Kamal, or anybody else, feel free to sit on the committee, just as long as we don't have too many people. You already know, I won't get into that, but they're open anyway. So that's it. I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Thank you, Attorney Schindler. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Kamal, or Trustee Kamal. Thank you. And your work as well. And your work, I might as well say, everybody, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. And thank you for reading it. Okay. Thank you for reading it. That's important. Thank you for reading it. Because a lot of people don't read the stuff that comes to them.
All right. Davis,
Yes.
Bernard, yes. Laster,
Yes.
Kamal,
No.
Rogers is yes. Motion passes. Board President.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, I want to take a moment on behalf of the board just to send out our prayers to our team member, Debbie Powles. So if everybody can just keep her lifted up in prayers and positive vibes that way to her, be greatly appreciated. Big shout out to everybody with the dodgeball game and also senior night. It was good vibes on Thursday and Friday in the Romulus district. The community came out and supported. It was a great game on Friday. And I won't talk about the dodgeball game because I missed a very important ball that could have gotten Dr. Edmondson out, and I'm still reliving it coming down, and I missed it. So congratulations. have fun. I want to thank the ladies from Creative Minds. I want to thank Jarrell for his presentation and Mrs. Edwards for her presentation. I want to thank everybody for coming out. And I did make 2 notes at the last meeting regarding when schools have events or award ceremonies or different things. It's good to have them in the morning, but I feel like some need to be in the afternoon to give parents, working parents, parents that have a busy schedule, the opportunity to kind of go because it's hard. I mean, we try to go to everything that we can, but with our schedule, it's tough. And I also would like to maybe recommend that sometimes it can be filmed on the district page, or the Facebook page, so parents or even grandparents in California can see it. So that's just a suggestion to me, but please know that when I do get the invite, I do always try to make a way to come, and I know that's for my board members as well.
Can I add to that just for a second?
Yes.
We would love to do that, and we try as much as possible, but then you'll get a parent to say, why is my kid in the video?
That's true.
That's all. I'm just saying that we have thought about this, and even we're going to do a video on the dodgeball. I'm hoping that no parent says that my child, because we want to do those things, but the minute that one parent says, I can't have my kid in a video, then everybody else can't be out on there. So we're trying the best we can with our team and David Mean back there, people that we have. We're very aware of that, but understood. I got it. Message received. Message received. We were at the student thing at night, right?
I wanted to also just, again, because you can't give people their flowers too much, just thank the transportation team, not you, thank you, but the transportation team, just because a few weeks back we know what happened and we know that we cannot run and operate without the transportation team, so thank you for all that they do. And, the age, I guess I'm getting up there, huh? I think that's about it. I'll keep it brief. Thank you so much for your support, and I will now turn it over to my board members. Vice President Davis, anything? Madam Secretary?
Just to piggyback off of President, I want to thank all our presenters today. They did an awesome job. And just to note, in our meeting for our policy, we did have a discussion as it relates to the AI policy, retention and promotion policy that could be coming down the pike. We also talked about board compensation as well as dress code, staff dress code. So we have been having those conversations of other things that are possibly to come down the pike to help move our district forward and to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. And thank you, Ms. Kamal, for bringing 4005 to us in regards to that section. We will have discussion and see if we can bring that back to you. Again, thank everybody for coming out tonight. Good seeing you all.
Okay, thumbs up. All right. Trustee Kennard.
No, just to reiterate what was already said, thank everyone for staying and those who came. Jason already reported on finance. We did meet was last week, and we did have a discussion of lighting and so forth, and we'll be bringing more information. There was and for the finance, we did have a question pertaining to overall district funds. I'm not ready to present that yet. I gotta sit down and talk with Dr. Gissing again and with the president. So we're looking at some things there. And so that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Trustee Kennard. Trustee Kamal? No. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. Whew, forgot about you, Dr. Evans.
He's like, okay.
Evelyn and Rita, it's great to see you. Thank you.
Oh, that was brief.
Said it was great to see you all.
All right. Number 11 is closed session. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the February 24th, 2025 closed session for the purpose of 8H, attorney-client privilege.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call.
Laster.
Yes.
Kennard.
Yes.
Kamal.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Rogers, yes. We are in closed session at 7:24.
Thank you.
So we're going to, where are we going? We can't if people still here. Here's this back, here's this. You gotta get there, those are the copies that you always get back. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't get over there. So the one that would be for, yep. And then Davidson. Weatherspoon, the letter, so he can explain it, so we can post it.